Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to Sweet Events with the Greenwin Group. My name is Sari Fox. I am a yoga and meditation teacher and life coach, and I've been teaching the gift of yoga and meditation and coaching mindset for the past 15 years. And I am so honored to be here with you over the next few months to teach you a few things that really simple techniques that can help you shift your state. All of us are experiencing feelings right now of fear and uncertainty. And it is our job and responsibility to really take care of ourselves, our emotional and mental and physical health. And yoga and meditation are two wonderful practices that can help to shift your state. It can help to relax your systems. It can help you sleep better. It can help you to release stress and manage your stress. And so most of the practices that we're going to do are accessible. If you have any injuries and you have any conditions or limitations, I ask that you check with your doctor before starting yoga. If you have any mobility issues, you can try some of these poses and sequences from a chair. A lot of them are very accessible. So I'm so happy to be here with you over the next few months, where we will dive into the gift of yoga and meditation. My goal is to share really simple techniques, nothing fancy, but just having the ability and just developing skill to move the body and getting into some really great habits can just change your whole life. So before we begin, I just want to show you a few props that you might want to grab, and you can easily find these props around your home. So I have a blanket here. You can also use a towel, and there's multiple uses for a blanket. Can support your hips and your knees or joints. So it's always really great to have. Two other props that I have are blocks, and you can use books, you can use boxes, you can use play school toys, whatever you have around the house that can bring the ground to you, essentially. And I have a strap here. And you can use a bathrobe tie or just an old suit tie, whatever you like. It helps to access some poses. And one more prop that I have, it's called a bolster, but you can use a couch cushion. It works just as well. So we're not going to utilize all these props during every class, but these are really helpful to have around when we're doing our class, just so we can access poses. These props will help to support you in your relaxation. So with that, let's get started. I want to thank you so much for tuning in here and take a moment to really honor yourself for being here. I want to thank the Greenwin Group for offering this gift, because that's what it is. You're going to learn skills that you're going to have here for the rest of your life. So thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to give you a minute to go and get some props. If you haven't, just grab, a blanket or a towel from somewhere, and I will meet you in the middle of the mat in a cross-legged position. Again, if you have mobility issues and coming onto the floor is not possible, please find a chair and you will be able to access this as well. So we're going to start every class with a simple meditation. And I often hear from students that meditation is really hard and it's very intimidating and I'm bad at it. I've heard it all, and I completely understand. And I want to just debunk some of those things right off the bat and say that it is impossible to be bad at meditation, because meditation, just like yoga, is a practice where we practice doing something over and over again until we get better at it. So meditation is really a technique to become mindful of the moment, mindful and becoming aware of where we're at. Because when we are mindful of the moment, we become more present. And we remember that this is the moment that we have, right? We don't know what's going to happen in 10 minutes or 10 years. And what happened 10 minutes ago or 5 years ago has already happened. But this moment is the one that we got. So I understand that for those of you who have tried meditation and you may think to yourself, I cannot still my thoughts. I want to also share that stilling your thoughts and clearing your mind of thoughts is really not the goal of meditation. You can think of meditation as observing the thoughts. So what are we thinking about? What is causing us to feel anxious? What is causing us to feel joy? What is causing us to feel all of the feelings that we feel? And it's just becoming aware of those thoughts. Do they serve us? Are they new? Are they old? And so when we cultivate more of an understanding with ourselves, we have a better understanding with ourselves, we can show up exactly as we want to every single day, rather than the person that we were yesterday. So with that, let's begin. So place your hands down on your lap, anywhere that's really comfortable. I'm going to ask that you close your eyes, but if closing your eyes in the space that you're in does not feel comfortable, then just take a soft gaze down the tip of your nose. For some of us, just closing the eyes feels hard. It is all normal. So with your eyes closed, I want you just to feel your body. So feel your seat touching the floor or the blanket or the chair. And the crown of your head lifting up. See if you can lengthen through the spine. Allow your shoulders just to soften down the back. And tune into your breath. Just notice how you are breathing in this moment. Can you allow those inhales to be more open and expansive? And can you allow those exhales to move out of your body slowly? So just turn your attention to your breath. Just inhaling and exhaling. And the mind is going to wander. That is the nature of the mind. It's going to go to a conversation, or what you have to do after class, or what you should be doing. But bring it back to the breath. If you blink your eyes open, I'm still here. But close them back up. Go inward. And find your breath. Breathe into all of those tight spaces. Breathe into your mind. Right into the center of your brain. Breathe space. See if you can add some measurement to your breath. Just 3 counts in and 3 counts as you exhale the breath. So let's do it together. Inhale for 1, for 2, for 3, and then exhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale for 1, for 2, for 3. Exhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Last round. Inhale for 1, for 2, for 3, and exhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Breath in and breath out. At the beginning of yoga, I offer my students a chance to create what we call an intention. You can think of it like a wish. Perhaps it's a quality that you wish to embody or cultivate, or something that you want to focus on or bring more attention to. And we do this with the palms together in a prayer position right in front of our heart. And this is not a religious gesture. It reminds us of devotion and dedication to ourselves and nurturing the understanding and the relationship with us. So if you'd like to, you can create an intention for your class today. Perhaps it's to cultivate more patience or presence or love or forgiveness. Something that lightens and brightens your heart. Because we can all use a little bit of that. Take a very deep breath here, in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Releasing the hands and opening up the eyes. I hope that you all enjoy your class today. We're going to stay here for a few more moments. You're going to bring your left hand down and bring your right arm up, and we're just going to take a full side body stretch. And so as you stretch here, I want you to breathe, because that's where the magic happens in these yoga poses. This is the difference between, let's say, a stretch, a calisthenic in the gym, and a yoga posture. It is connected with breath. Let's do the other side. So inhale, reaching the arm up, and exhale, stretch over to the right. And as we hold these poses, we breathe as well. Breathing into the chest and into the belly. Start simple. Good. And then slowly rise all the way up. You're going to come on over to hands and knees. So moving your props off to the side. Now, any pose that we do where perhaps our knees are on the ground, you can always place a blanket down. It's not necessary, but if you have sensitive knees, please do that. Alternatively, if you're just seated, you can do this sequence from your seat as well. So from here, you're going to bring your palms down underneath your shoulders and your knees under the hips. From here, you're going to look up and let the belly just sink. So you are arching your back. On your exhale, you're going to start to round your back like a cat. Bring your chin into the chest. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale as you look up. Bring those shoulder blades together and arch your back. And then exhale, round through the back. Let's do that 1 more time. You're going to inhale, look up. And exhale, round, round, round through the back. Just starting to get some movement through the spine. From here, if you have your blanket, you're just going to move it all the way off to the side. Come all the way back over to hands and knees. Curl the toes under. And we're going to come into a position called downward dog. Now, if you're seated on your chair, this position is probably one that you're going to skip. So this position, downward dog, will help to stretch your entire back body. So the shape is an A-frame. And if you notice that you're feeling a lot of weight in your shoulders when you first come into it, bend your knees a lot, push into your palms, push into the mat, and send your butt way back. And let your head go. So you're getting a full back body stretch through the low back, through the upper back, through the hamstrings and the heels. And so we're just going to stay here for a few more moments, a few more breaths. Start to pedal out through the heels. So it's like you're walking in place. That's it. Bending one knee at a time. And then very slowly start to walk your feet all the way up to your hands. When you get towards the top of the mat, take as many steps as you need. Knees bent. You're going to bring your hands to your shins and you're going to look up halfway forward. And then you're going to bend your knees a lot and fold into your legs. Let the head go. So if you're way up here and rounding through your back, I want you to bend your knees more and open up here through the low back. Let's do that again. Inhale, hands to shins. Get really long and strong in your spine and your legs here. And then fold, 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 fold. From here, roll it all the way up, keeping your knees bent. Take your time, and then come all the way up to stand. Okay, I'm just going to adjust my screen. There we go. Great. So from here, before we begin a little bit of a flow, you're going to interlace your fingers. Let's open up through the shoulder. So if you're seated, this is a pose for you too. Bend your knees. Open up the chest. Take a deep breath here. I'm going to bring my belly back to my thighs as I take my arms up and all the way over my head. Let the head go. Shake it out. And so again, the magic of yoga is breathing into the body when we're in these poses. Slowly, rhythmically, and deeply. Take another breath here. We're going to release the hands, bend your knees here, and roll all the way up. Good. Okay, let's start to do some standing poses. We're going to build some strength in our lower body, and we're going to stretch through the upper body as well. So from here, I want you to take your right leg, and you're going to take it all the way over to the back of your mat. And you're going to bend your front knee, and you're going to keep your back leg straight. Left toes are angled in, and your front leg is bent 90 degrees, all right? Or the best that you can do, right? So sometimes we're up here, that's okay. As you become more flexible and stronger, that right thigh bone is going to drop down. Start to reach your arms up. We call this warrior two. Arms are extending out through the chest. From here, we're just going to stretch through the upper body. So we're going to start to just let our left hand get really heavy and slide down the back leg as we reach our right fingertips back. And then from here, you're going to bring your right forearm down to the right thigh, left arm all the way up and over the left ear. Let's do that a few more times. So keep your legs as they are. If your right thigh is burning, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Left hand draws down the left leg, right arm reaches back. And then again, right forearm to the right thigh, left arm all the way up and over. Okay, let's do that one more time. We call this side angle pose. So let's start to come all the way up with the upper body, and let's straighten our right leg. So both of our legs are straight. My left toes are angled in a little bit, and I'm going to stretch my arms out again. Take your right ribs. You're going to extend your right ribs over that right leg. Right hand comes down, and then start to open up through the chest, left hand up. So it doesn't matter how far down this right hand goes. I want you to focus on opening up the heart, left fingertips to the sky, even if your hand is here, right? No pressure on the knee. Our knees don't like pressure, as you can see. So reaching up through the left fingertips, both legs are straight, pushing down through the feet. And you know what I'm going to say, find your breath. 3 big breaths here. So often when we are learning these poses, we get caught up in what we're supposed to do. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? So as long as you're not in pain, okay, you may feel a little uncomfortable, but any pain, back off. Little discomfort because of tightness, okay. One more breath. Good. Come all the way up now, and then you're just going to bring your hands to your hips, heel toe, your feet in. So before we do the other side, we're going to do what we call a flow, just to get a little bit of heat going in the body. So if you are on your chair, you probably can't do this part, but that's okay. We're going to do it for you. So little bend in the knees, feet are hip distance. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Little bend, exhale, you're going to fold all the way down. Hands to the floor. You're going to bring your hands to your shins. You're going to look up. You're going to plant your hands. You're going to step back to a very powerful pose called plank here. Take a deep breath in, and then start to drop your knees. You're going to look forward. Chest goes forward past the fingertips. Bend your elbows, lower all the way down to the mat. Look forward. Point your toes. You're going to spin your hands out a little bit, keeping your legs on the mat, You're going to roll the chest up. We call this Cobra. You can keep it pretty low or take it high. Exhale and release. Let's do that one more time. More on breath. I'll talk less. And exhale. Before we go into our downward dog, we're going to pause in a child's pose. You're going to push yourself all the way up. Take your knees wide. Chest melts right between the legs, and you let the head go. So this is a great pose to rest, catch your breath, release your thoughts, have a moment. Let's come all the way back up, hands and knees, and let's find our downward dog again. So maybe your shoulders are starting to warm up, maybe the legs are starting to warm up. Again, if you're feeling tight in your low back and your hamstrings, keep a bend in your knees. Melt your chest back, push your palms to the earth. Stay here, one more breath. Start to walk your feet again, all the way up to the hands. Take your time. Once your hands and your feet meet, hands to the shins, look up halfway. We did this before. Little bend in the knees, exhale, fold all the way in. This time, lift up, strong legs, strong core. Arms reach up, and then arms come down by your side. So let's do the left side of the body, that whole sequence with warrior two and triangle. You're going to take your left leg out now, and you're going to spin your left toes towards the other side of the mat. The right toes turn in, and then you're going to bend that front leg as far as is comfortable for you. And then from here, add on the arms. So you can think of your arms reaching from the heart space, and then from fingertip to fingertip, you expand your wings. Let's start to dance a little bit. So right arm drops down the right leg, just slide it down. Left forearm, left thigh. If you're seated, you can do this, right? Straddle the chair. Right arm slides down the right leg, left arm reaches back. Left forearm, left thigh. Good. Right hand slides, left arm reaches back. Find your side angle pose for a moment. And then you're going to lift all the way up with the upper body, and then we'll straighten the left leg. Let's go for our triangle. From here, take your left ribs all the way over that left leg. So if that right chest is folding over, again, I'd rather your left hand come up so you can hold yourself here. Reach your right hand up. Push down through the feet. Strong legs. Open through the chest. Gaze up to the sky. Find your breath. Don't worry so much if you're doing it right. If you're here and you can breathe, no pain, you're doing it right. Your chest is open. Think about all the poses, heart open. That's it. 2 more breaths here. Breathe right into this 3-dimensional being that is you. Find your feet. Let's inhale, lift all the way up. Heel, toe your feet together. Okay. And let's go back to the top of the mat. We'll do one more flow. So, feet are hip distance, palms together. We lead with breath. Inhale. Exhale, arms come down by our sides. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. We bend the knees first, then we hinge at the hips and fold. Hands to the shins, look up, look forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step back to that strong plank. Right away, you can drop the knees. Take your chest forward and lower. Remember, Cobra. Spin your hands out. Roll the chest up. And then exhale, lower. Do that again. Inhale. And exhale. Move through a child's pose. So hips back to the heels. Take a full breath. And then find your downward facing dog. Curl the toes under. Lift your hips, come all the way back. And close the eyes, you can keep them open. Again, remember, bend the knees here. If you feel tightness in the shoulders, you want to make sure your chest is not out here. Think about your ears in line with the arms. One more breath. Start to walk your feet all the way up to your hands. When they get there, hands to the shins, look up. Bend your knees, slowly fold. Strong legs, strong arms, lift the chest. Arms come down by your side. Good, let's continue. We're going to do a few balancing poses here, right? Which is also helps us to strengthen our legs, helps us to find balance when things are really windy and unstable, okay? And mostly that's in our minds. So we're going to start on the left foot. So you're going to start to shift the weight into the left foot and bend your right knee out to the side. Lots of options here. So if you are naturally feel a little unstable, sometimes we feel really balanced and sometimes we don't, you can actually go next to a wall and do the sequence there. But you can also just keep that right foot, in this case, a little closer to the floor. So just maybe the right heel and the left ankle connect. If you feel a little bolder, you can slide that right foot up below the knee. So my right foot's now pushing into the calf muscle. If you want to go a little bit deeper, then it's above the knee. So I used to think that my foot fit perfectly on my knee. But again, our knees don't like a lot of force. So have this right foot, in this case, above or below the knee. Palms at the heart center. Again, if you need to, grab a wall. Palms at the heart center, breath here. If you want to continue to build and get bolder, reach the arms straight up to the sky. Yeah, so this knee that's out to the side is dropping down. And you want to start to engage your left butt cheek. We call that a glute, okay? Let's stay here for another 2 breaths. Breathe in. And out. Breathe into the front of the body, the sides of the body, the back of the body. And here's the trick in these balancing poses. Find one gaze point. So not me, because I'm moving all around. But one thing in front of you, right? Even if it's a piece of fluff on your floor. One thing that is not moving. Okay, let's do one more pose here. You're going to take this right foot. So even if it's down here on the mat or on the calf muscle, if you can, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So if you're seated, you can do this too. Okay, so I'm going to show you from the side. And I'm going to show you some support as well. So with your right ankle over the left thigh, you're going to tip your hips back and come into this one-legged chair pose. So you're going to feel this in your outer right hip. And you can bring your palms together. You can bring your elbows, forearms down to this right lower leg, your right shin. Or if you have blocks or books or anything, you can bring your hands to your blocks. So you're going to feel this in that outer right hip. Yeah, so keep this left knee bent. And the deeper that you bend the left knee, the deeper you're going to feel it in that right hip. Hold it here. Let the head go. Be really soft in the upper body. So I often tell my students that it's not really about the pose. The poses are just catalysts to watch our mind and how we respond and react. But it's about what the pose does for you. So if it's a really challenging pose and you stay, it allows you to build some resilience, some grit. And if you go, maybe you're just not up for it that day, and that's okay too. Take a deep breath in. Coming all the way up, and let's shake it out. And let's do the other side. Okay, so if you like that version of taking blocks or books and that support, then make sure that you set them up for the other side. And let's start with our tree pose here. So again, lots of options here. You have the wall if you need, left heel on the right ankle, calf muscle, or above the knee. So we all have a more wobblier side, okay? It's just the way it is. And the right side is definitely a little unsteady for me. We're going to bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center, or start to reach your arms up. Regardless of where that foot is, it's along the inside of the right leg. Push the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. So you're creating this bind here. And the legs are working simultaneously to hold the pose. And your job once you're there is to breathe. We're here for 2 more breaths. Wherever you are is perfect. One more inhale here. Let's move to that floating pigeon pose. So let's take our left ankle over the right thigh. So we literally create the number 4. It's called the figure 4, floating pigeon. Take your hips back, chest forward. Flex that left foot. Maybe bring your forearms forward, your chest forward, or stay upright. You decide. I'll show you from the side view as well. Standing in that right foot, my left ankle crosses over my right thigh, hips back, chest forward. Maybe my hands come down to the block. Try to keep the heart center lifted so you can breathe. I'm flexing my left foot a lot. It helps to protect my left knee. Breathing here. So when you feel these strong sensations in the body, you can meet it with, I'm so tight. Oh, I haven't done this in a while, right? And that can go on forever. Or we can meet it with just breath. Stop judging ourselves. 2 more here. Find that right foot, engage your right glute, and then coming all the way up, left foot down, shake it out. Okay, let's come down to the mat. We're going to find, if you have your blanket or your towel, this is a good opportunity to take it. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. This is called cobbler's pose. And again, this is one of those poses where if your hips are really tight, your low back is really tight, you might not get very far in the pose. So that's okay. You can take your legs out a little bit more, but being on a blanket really helps. So you're going to take a very deep breath here in through the nose and exhale, just start to fold your upper body forward. Any amount. You can walk your hands out. Flex your feet. You can push the feet together and then just let the head go. Think about your chin just tucking into the chest. Allowing your face to soften. Already feeling like you're more settled. Already feeling like you are just letting some heaviness go. Feeling like your heart is shining a little bit brighter. Just by doing some simple poses. Just by, more importantly, breathing deeper. One more breath here together. And then lift all the way up. So I like to teach a pretty fierce class. So I will always bring in a little bit of core into my classes, even if it's just one pose. So because it's our first time today together, we're just going to do one pose for our core here. So you're going to bring the soles of the feet down. I'm going to give you lots of options. You're going to try to sit up tall. And if you need to, you're going to stay with your hands behind your thighs. Now, as you walk your feet back, you may start to float your feet up. We call this boat pose. and maybe balance here. Or maybe if you can't balance there, you do 1 foot at a time. So notice if the lower belly is just kind of relaxed here. What I want you to do is brace yourself, tighten it up, pull your navel in, and then try that pose again. If this feels good, maybe take your hands out. Hold it here with me. 5, 4. See if you can bring your thighs together. For those of you who are experts, maybe straighten the legs. Let's stay here for another 3. Lift through the chest. We're here for 2. And 1. Cross your legs. Relax in that cross-legged position, exactly where we started. A few more poses. So let's start with a twist here. Left hand to the right knee. Easy, simple twist. Right hand behind your back. So you can use your right thigh to press your left hand against the right thigh. So you can look back and find the breath. So if you are new to yoga, you're going to notice right away that twists, when you are in these twisting poses, super hard to breathe. And it's our job to start to breathe anyway. It's like we are purposefully compressing the body. And see if we can breathe deeper. Right? We're inducing some stress on the body and challenging ourselves to breathe right through it instead of coming out of it. Breathe into the chest and into the belly. And here's the gift. Unwind. Let's go to the other side. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind the back. So we want to take our gaze over the shoulder. And we're mostly in the upper body here. For those of you who are expecting, you want to make sure that you're not twisting down from the lower body. Keep it in the upper body. Gaze over the shoulder, breathing in and out. A few more breaths. So the intention of this class today was to invigorate you and for you to find some relaxation simultaneously. For you to get in touch with your body and get in touch with your breath. Even if you just did this twist or forward fold or the meditation, you still did yoga and you did a lot. Coming back to center, let's slowly come on to our backs. So you can roll down the strength of the core, or you can walk your hands down, and we'll meet lying down here. And we're going to hug our knees right into the chest and just rock around a little bit. This really helps to get out any knots in our low back. So I know that a lot of us are working from home. So at the end of the day, after you've been hunched over that computer, roll around on your back, find a few breaths. This really, really helps. Good. And we're just going to come into what we call a happy baby before we take some purposeful rest today. You're going to draw your knees here in towards the armpits. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe you grab your shins or your ankles. I love this pose because it reminds us of our innocence and the joys and rebirth, right? So just rock around a little bit here on your low back. We're going to take a very deep breath here in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You're going to hug your knees into the chest. And we're going to come into our last pose, which is called Shavasana. It is a resting pose, purposeful rest. And the way you set up for it is that you extend one leg at a time and you take your legs apart. So as wide as the mat, take up as much space as you can. Arms come down by your side. Now, if you are seated, You just stay where you are and close your eyes. If you have low back issues, and when you come down onto your back, you start to feel a little crunchiness in your low back, then you take support. So lots of options. You can roll up your blanket, place under the knees. You can take that couch cushion under the knees. You could also elevate your heels, just so then you can allow the low back to soften into the mat. So come to lie down. Close the eyes. And let go of your breath. I'm going to sit up, but you stay lying down. And relax your body exactly where you are. Feel how the ground and the earth is supporting you. And in this moment, there is nothing that you have to be except here. There's nothing you have to do. You can practice here letting go. Just feel the effects of your practice of moving your body, of breathing deep, of trying something that perhaps you've never tried before, of tasting the presence, of slowing down, just doing something for you. Stay here for another minute and just relax. Start to bring your awareness back into the moment. Take a full breath here and inhale your arms all the way up and over the head. Just move slowly. Start to bend the knees and bring the soles of your feet down and roll over onto the right side of your body and pause here. Just resting your head here on your right arm and just honoring yourself for making it here today. Honor yourself for carving out space for you, whether you've caught this live or the recording. It all counts. From here, pressing your left palm into the earth and then making your way up to sit in any place that's comfortable for you. And we'll just take a moment to close our practice. So close your eyes just one more time. And if you feel like you want to, bring your palms back to your heart space. Thumbs pointing right into the heart, right back into you. And gratitude for this opportunity to bring these ancient gifts of meditation and yoga into our present day, because we need it so badly right now. So I want to thank you for your trust and your presence. Namaste. Thank you. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to pop them into the chat, or you can always email me. My name is Sari Fox at sarifox.com. Thank you so much.